Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and I'm sure you've been watching the videos this week. You find out that we're all reviewing a horror film from the year 1983. Well, today is my turn, and the movie that I chose, I don't know. It is definitely categorized as horror. I think most people look at it as horror. Some people might think of it as more of kind of weird science fiction or something like that, but you all know what movie I'm talking about because you see it in the title. The movie that I'm talking about is David Cronenberg's Videodrome. And this is a movie I really do enjoy. And, you know, oh man, I am so happy because, I saw the trailer for Cronenberg's new movie coming, Crimes of the Future. And it's going to be nice to see Cronenberg kind of go back to his roots and kind of, the kind of strange, kind of quasi body horror, sci fi kind of movies that, his early career that he was known for, you know, the, you know, the godfather of body horror films and things like this. It's nice to see it looks like he's going back to form, even though probably the scariest thing about that movie is going to be having to watch Kristen Stewart act. But anyway, though, yeah, so this movie I really do like. And there is a problem though. Even though for all of their weirdness, um, Cronenberg's movies usually still tend to be pretty easy to follow. I mean, sometimes the ending of his movies will kind of throw you off. Like you're not really sure what happened. Videodrome is one, Scanners is another. Maybe like Existence, that would be something else though too. But just Naked Lunch. I know Naked Lunch kind of the ending kind of always threw me off on that one. But anyway, though, just yeah, this is a movie of his. Like, it's a little bit harder to. That's kind of the thing, I mean, I like the movie and I understand it to a point, but it's a little bit of a hard movie to kind of discuss. There's so much going on in this movie, and well, anyway, the story is about Max Wren, played by James Woods, and he runs Civic TV, which is kind of a small, TV station, kind of almost like a, for lack of a better word, kind of a UHF kind of a station, I guess. Excuse me. And to stay in business, he's always looking for, kind of like really out there kind of content for people to watch. So, he's, always looking for like, stuff that's maybe like softcore porn or, something with, quite a bit of violence in it or whatever else. He's always trying to find something a little bit unique that you can't get on any other, kind of, just regular, any regular station, And so his friend Harlan introduces him to what's called Videodrome, which it looks basically kind of like torture, kind of snuff, kind of a thing. And then, after he sees this, Max starts hallucinating. He starts seeing really weird things. And, at one point he meets Nikki Brand, who is played by Deborah Harry. And, and they begin this, towards sex affair and everything else. And then Nikki decides she wants to go and be at one point they're on a date and they go back to his place and she's looking through his beta tapes and she finds a tape of Videodrome and she's like, hey, what's this? And he's like, that's rough stuff. It's not, and she's like, do you have any porn? And no, it's like, that's not porn. And she's like, who says? So they start watching it and they start, engaging into, their sexual fantasies and things like this. And then she decides that um, she's going to become a contestant on Videodrome, and she pretty much disappears. And then we come to find out, she died. And as the movie goes on, Max, he's hallucinating more. He starts seeing really weird things. He at one point he develops, it's kind of hard because you're kind of like, okay, is this real or is it only in his mind? And at one point, again, for lack of a better term, he grows like a vagina on his stomach, and he's getting more and more paranoid. He thinks that people are out to get him. All this, so it's like at one point he's got like a gun and like he keeps like using the gun to scratch his stomach, and then he sees that the slit in his stomach is opening, so he ends up putting the gun into it, and and just all other kinds of things though too. He has a friend Masha who at one point he he hallucinates that like he's whipping her, like there's like a big kind of like like the big old wood kind of panel TVs, the suckers that used to weigh like 10,000 pounds and stuff. Like he's taking like a whip and he's whipping it because he thinks that it's actually Nikki that he's whipping and that she's getting off on it, but then you find out it's his friend Masha, and then he wakes up and he's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then like he rolls over into his bed and he finds her body there, and so he calls his buddy Harlan. Harlan comes over and looks and doesn't see anything there. But then what ends up happening is that we find out that Max is being manipulated the entire time by Videodrome and by Barry Convex, who is played by Les Carlson, who, if you definitely remember him from a lot of, you remember him from like Black Christmas. He was the operator at the phone company. Oh God, this guy's been in so many movies. He was in Deranged. He was the narrator. He's been in many, many movies. He's a very well-known Canadian actor. And so we come to find out that Convex is actually using kind of like the technology and everything else to manipulate Max, and he's able to what's the best way to say it? He's able to like he basically kind of turns Max into like a walking VCR, I guess you could say, because he takes like these pulsating beta videotapes and he's able to put them into Max's the slit slash vagina on Max's stomach, and then he's able to tell Max to give him orders like, I want you to go kill this person, I want you to go kill that person. One person that there was a kind of a prophet kind of a character named Brian Oblivion who's kind of talking about how with evolution and things like this, that people are going to kind of like incorporate technology and things like this into their bodies, into their systems and things like this. Well, even though Brian Oblivion is dead, his daughter Bianca is still alive, and so they want him to kill her, but she's actually able to kind of turn the tables by by turning Max around, and she able to put her beta tape into his chest vagina and all this stuff, and then so he's able to go and she's able to control him to go and kill Barry Convex and Harlan and stuff like this. And so it's incredibly strange. I'm sorry, I know I'm not doing the movie very much justice, but it's just kind of a really hard movie to talk about. It's really strange. It's not very linear compared to a lot of Cronenberg's other films. That's the thing, I mean, most of his movies, even though the endings can throw you off, most of his movies for the most part are, they're pretty linear. They're very easy to follow and everything. But, Videodrome it's a very complex movie. And it's definitely the kind of movie you need to watch at least more than once. Because I think if you just sit there and watch it one time, you're definitely going to be confused. You're not going to understand it. But this movie I do feel is very important. And, you could kind of tell that Cronenberg he predicted a lot of stuff, which if you think about it now, it does seem kind of true. That was one thing that, that has been a theme that Cronenberg has explored, not only in this movie, but like in Existence, the idea of incorporating technology into our bodies and into our psyches and everything else. And it's true. I mean, especially in today's world, people are, we have our phones, we have our tablets, laptops, everything else. We always have a screen. And I mean, for some people, it's like, their phones are an extension of them, or their tablets are an extension of them. I mean, look at how people, like, they can't even go, like, more than, like, just a few seconds. They put down their phone, they can't even go a few seconds without having to pick it back up again. It's almost like an appendage to people now. And Cronenberg, knew, he kind of predicted that this kind of thing was going to happen, even though, in the movie it's like with VCRs and old TVs and, beta tapes and things like this. But eventually that, you could tell that he was predicting that, as time goes on and the evolution of technology and things like this, and the more that we incorporate technology into our being and into our psyche and everything else, that we were going to, it's going to end up becoming a part of us. And it's true, you know. Like I said though, this is a movie. It's a very good movie. The acting is really good in it. James Woods does a great job. Debbie Harry, even though she was an unprofessional actress when she did this movie, she since has gone on. She's done more acting roles and things like that. So she's been able to hone her craft. But even for a woman who is inexperienced, she still did it. She does a really good job in the movie. The acting is really good. You got some really good gore in this movie, some really good special effects by Rick Baker. Even though I will say, unfortunately, because what I'm holding here is the Criterion Blu-ray of the movie. Unfortunately, like if you're watching this version of it, it's they do such a good job with the with the addition of this that you can see some of the special effects doesn't really hold up, but it doesn't matter. It's really good practical effects, and you get a decent amount of gore here and there, some pretty gross stuff and everything. But I would definitely say, yeah. I mean, if you're in for a really like you want a movie that's just kind of a mind-bending kind of twist you around kind of a movie, but something that's going to stick with you, and Videodrome does that because, like I said, this is a movie. I think even though it looks the technology and everything in the movie looks dated because we're talking about like old TVs and Atari video games and the big giant satellite dishes and beta tapes and all this other kind of stuff. That's the thing, it's like this movie will definitely resonate with you because you're going to see parallels in this movie to real life. With, like I said, you look at technology how it is now, and that technology is very much an extension of us. Like I said, with our phones and with our TVs and our laptops and our tablets and everything else, our iPods and all this other kind of stuff, and how it really has become a part of our body and a part of our being and stuff like that. And Cronenberg predicted that, so. But I would definitely say, yeah, watch this movie. But I'd say, yeah, you're probably gonna have to watch it at least a couple of times because I think the first time you watch it, there's gonna be stuff in this movie that's kind of go over your head, and you're not gonna really like. I don't understand that. So yeah, I would suggest maybe at least watch it a couple of times. But anyway, I have the nice Criterion edition here, and here you go. Got a lot of bonus features on here. You got restored high definition digital transfer of the unrated version approved by David Cronenberg, cinematographer Mark Irwin, with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. 2 audio commentaries, one featuring Cronenberg and Irwin, the other actors James Woods and Deborah Harry. Camera, a short film by Cronenberg. Forging the New Flesh, a half-hour documentary by filmmaker Michael Lennick about Videodrome's video prosthetic makeup effects. Effects Men, an audio interview with makeup effects creator Rick Baker and video effects supervisor Lennick. Bootleg video, the complete footage of Samurai Dreams and 7 minutes of other transmissions from Videodrome presented in their original unedited form with filmmaker commentary. Fear on Film, a roundtable discussion from 1982 with Cronenberg and filmmakers John Carpenter, John Landis, and Mick Garris. Original theatrical trailers and promotional featurette. Stills gallery featuring rare behind-the-scenes production photos and posters. And a booklet featuring essays by writers Carrie Rickey, Tim Lucas, and Gary Indiana. So yeah, a nice selection of bonus features on here and everything. And this is kind of cool. It pulls out, and then look at it. It looks like a beta tape, doesn't it? Long live the new flesh. So the back of it there. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you're a fan of this movie. And I will say though, I got to be honest. I guess it would depend on who puts it out, but Criterion did such a great job with this movie. I mean, sure, you could argue like, well, they could have picked a little bit, more interesting cover art or something like that. But, Criterion did such a good job with the transfer of this movie. I'm really not even sure, depending on who puts it out, I'm not sure I'd be too quick to jump on the 4K if and when this does come out to 4K because just it looks so good. It looks great. Just like I said, the only downside is just a couple of times you can't really, the, the special effects kind of look a little obvious. But other than that, but anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Videodrome, I think it's an interesting film, an important film, especially in this day and age. Even though, like I said, the technology in the movie looks dated, you could definitely still, like you watch this movie, you could definitely see parallels in this movie to what we are going through today with our technology. But Videodrome, I do recommend it. So that's it. If anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't already, go subscribe to the channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. Great guys, everybody doing great stuff. A lot more fun stuff coming everybody's way, and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So everybody, take care, have a good night, and I'll see you later.